Hello, and welcome to another video. As you've probably noticed on my YouTube channel, I just put whatever I feel like it on my YouTube channel. I have videos dealing with work, dealing with my photography business. I have videos dealing with a lot of different things from when I was a child, like old comic books, old books. I have videos showing my reviews of hotel stays. Well, now I'm going to do another video showing a comic book review. This is from Action Comics number 524. The date is October 1981, and let's have a look at it. So again, it's Action Comics number 524. At the time, it was 60 cents US, probably around 75 cents in Canada. I don't remember right now. And it's Action Comics stars Superman, but at this time period, they would have a main feature, which would be Superman, and then a backup feature, which would usually alternate between Airwave, the Atom, and Aquaman. And sometimes two or even all three would team up. Usually only two of the three, and usually it's the Atom and Airwave that are teaming up. And just a side note, I just noticed this. It's advertising Superman 2, the movie. So that tells you how long ago this was. That was the movie, of course, of Christopher Reeve when he fought the three supervillains. That was my favorite of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. So, what I wasn't going to really go into the main feature. This is for a friend of mine who asked about the Airwave backup feature. So as you can see, though, the main feature would star Superman, and it would have an adventure with him. Which, if you want to know about that, you can ask me later, or we can go over it later, or you can pick up the comic somewhere. It's over 40 years old. It's not. I don't know if it's really valuable, but it's probably a little rare. But yeah, so that's the main feature. But now the backup feature is what we're here for today. And this particular issue has the Atom teaming up with Airwave. Let me see if I can prop this somehow. I should have figured this out before. Okay, why is this not? There we go. Okay. So, this is the one that I was talking about, Justin, when I said I remember distinctly. I haven't read this in years, but I remember that whole Space Invaders kind of motif. Well, in an earlier issue, the Atom defeated the Calculator, which is a villain, one of those small-time villains of the comic books, and this starts off with him being in court. The professor who the Atom knows was testifying against the Calculator, and they kind of rehashed the last issue. But what happens is the Calculator, as his name implies, he kind of calculates the probabilities of how people are going to react. So he fools the professor into mentioning where what was it, the Time Harvest? I forget the name. Oh, there was something that he wanted the professor to. There was something he was trying to find. Oh, the Hurricane Harvest. I'm sorry, it controlled the weather. That's right. It's the big invention of this particular issue. Well, after he fools the professor into revealing where it is, there's kind of chaos in the courtroom where the Space Invader type hologram aliens appear and scare everyone to death. They're of course just an illusion, but the Calculator figured that he had enough time by that illusion to make good his escape while everyone's running and panicking, and that's what he does. So, and another thing about the Calculator, which is kind of a weird power, but once he's defeated by a superhero, that superhero can't defeat him again. He can't touch him again, he can't fight him again. So when the Atom shrinks down and tries to attack him, he bounces off because, of course, he already defeated the Calculator, so he won't be able to defeat him again. And that's when the Atom has the idea of making a phone call to Airwave. And one of Airwave's powers is that he can ride the phone lines, and he actually taught the Atom how to do that as well. So the Atom calls Airwave, and then shows up where he called by riding the phone line. And this is the Airwave secret identity. And he asked Airwave for his help. They ride the waves and attack the Calculator. Of course, the Airwave, he's a very little-known character, but I really liked him as a kid, probably because he's closer to my age. He was like 13, 14, and he fights crime. So I'm not going to talk that much now. I'll just let you enjoy the comic. I do like the idea of the Atom using the Airwave as a kind of a secret weapon here. And as you can see, even the calculator thoughts as he's defeated is, oh well, at least this wasn't the total loss. I have immunity from Airwave from now on. I guess that's why you don't see much of the calculator after this. I don't know if he makes another appearance, because I didn't read a lot of DC comics. I just read Action really, but it's kind of hard to make a villain where after he's defeated once, he can't be defeated by said hero, because once you go through the list of heroes, he would be invincible. Anyway, that's the Airwave backup story. But as I said, there were backup stories throughout these comics in the 80s, just like the way the UK comics have backup stories. The Transformers especially, they would have the main feature and then a backup feature. The Action comics, they would alternate it between Aquaman, Airwave, and the Atom during this time period. Before that, they did have Green Arrow would be the backup. There were quite a few heroes that would back up in Action every so often. But a lot of those guys eventually had their own comics, so that's why Airwave would be he never really was a hero that was very widely known, so he would be a backup for a while. And he died when the Crisis happened, and they did the reboot. And that's when I stopped collecting Superman comics, because I don't like reboots, and I didn't like that they killed off a lot of the characters I like. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this blast from the past. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. If you are my age or older and you used to read these comics as a kid as well, please also put that in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. Okay, again, though, please remember, no bad language or anything that's objectionable in the comments. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And have a nice day.